What's up, guys? How you guys doing? So welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I want to apologize to my viewers and to my subscribers. I'm pretty busy right now, man, so I'm not so much consistency on my making some videos. But for those actually watching my videos and listening my words, I really appreciate here, man, so much. And if you're new here, please considering give me thumbs up and subscribe my channel and put your comments. So I'm sick of hearing that the grains from Ukraine is sparking hunger in Africa. So, so I have to call my people in Africa and ask them, so are you receiving grains from Ukraine? They said no. Are you hungry because you don't receive Ukrainians grains? They said no. We are eating our coconuts, we are eating our cassavas and our maize from our lands and our cashew nuts, and even cashew nuts fruits. If you have never heard or see or hear or eat cashew nuts fruits, because where I'm coming from, we grow cashew nuts. And when I was young, actually, I used to love those cashew nuts fruits. Sometimes we squeeze those, we squeeze up those cashew nuts fruits, and we make like alcohol. Okay, when we were young, you know, we get some ridza and imboko, or some ridza and cup, or some ridza. It's a straw. If you buy some drinks, McDonald's or Taco Bell or something like that, they put that straw. That's called mridza in my language. Mridza, okay, a straw, okay. Cashew nuts, fruits can make you actually get drunk as well. So, but we love it when we were young. So I called my people, my tribe, okay, especially my family in Africa, and asked them, have you ever seen a Ukrainian's grains from Ukraine? So I've never seen it. We have never seen it. Are you hungry? Because I send money there once a while to help my family down there. Are you hungry? Said, no. We have cassavas. No. We have coconuts. No. We have some sweet potatoes and potatoes. No. We have greens, vegetations. So we are surviving. We don't care about Ukrainian grains. So if I hear this, Western medias and even some East Asia, some medias there, special, I don't want to mention, but they're keeping saying that the reason people are going anger in the world right now, it is because of Ukrainians' grains is not making its way to either Europe or Africa. Especially they're talking about Africa a lot. Africa have been surviving for thousands of years before the African person see the pale skinned person. We used to see pale skinned person as albinos, and many years albinos. Back then, I'm not actually. I love albino people because that the genetic deficiency. Okay, that's why you produce albinos. Okay, so back then when the African people, how do you call it, bore an albino child, it considered like a curse back then. Okay, I love albino. I'm not saying the albino is a curse, whatever. That's why there's a history here. Okay, there's somebody say like Noah in the Bible. Noah was albino kid. Okay, and his three sons, you know, blacks, because Noah came from black family. You know, his family was like, what the hell is this? Is this kid is from is angel is from the angels, or because they have never seen that kind of color before. So when the Noah parents saw him in a different color, like albino thing, they realized, what the hell is this? You know? This is not a human. You know? I mean, back then, this is not a human. This kid's maybe is coming from the evil angel or something like that. You know. But anyways, I'm not gonna go there. So anybody saying, especially in Western media's, keeping saying Africa, 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 everything Africa, Africa, Africa. Yeah? When the disease is coming from European countries and Americans, South Americans, they have to point to Africa, you know. And when they bring the disease in Africa, and the African genetic are very strong, you know. So some disease they cannot actually, you know, clamp to African genetic system. Yeah? But let's say during the corona season, when the corona was killing people in Europe and Americans, they were surprised that Africans are not dying. Why Africans are not dying with the coronas? That's why they have to find ways of bringing those diseases in Africa so that Africans they can die. Why we are dying and Africans are not dying? Now, when it comes about this wars is going on in Ukraine between America and NATO's, the European Unions, and Ukraine versus Russia, because Russia is fighting a multiple fronts. Russia is fighting with almost 51 countries, but the war is fought in Ukraine soil. So who's suffering? The people suffering are innocent, beautiful Ukrainian people. I know the leader of Ukraine is who he is. Lots of people, lots of experts and commentators and philosophers, writers, medias, they gave Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, the comedian, used to be comedians, and is still conducting himself as a comedian in the midst of the war. That's why you see these tragedies and miseries is still going on in Ukraine. But when I go back to these so-called grains from Ukraine, what the hell, man? Africans, they don't need grains. Africans, they don't eat that bread either. They don't eat, okay, they don't need much bread. Majority, a big number of Africans people, they cannot even afford one loaf of bread. They cannot afford it. When I was young, probably we used to afford a bread maybe once a month to buy one bread, and back then was like 1 cent, one cent, and like dollar cent, yeah, cent. We could not be able to afford when I was a young kid. When my mom bring breads, oh, we feel like, oh, we are in heaven. So the African people, they don't care about the grains from Ukraine. On the greedy rich, they're the one that lamenting. They're the one that losing their money. They're losing their businesses. Yeah? They're the one that they're crying and lamenting that, oh, grains is killing. If the grains from Ukraine is not giving its way to Africa, African people, they're suffering. In Africa, we, we used to be we used to suffer, man. We used to suffer many years. For many years, African people used to suffer. We don't care about your grains. We don't care about your wheat. We don't care about your fertilizer. We don't care about that. Yeah? African people, they'll find their way of surviving. I know there's some Western medias, they go in different places of Africa and take some pictures for the remote area of Africa and put that in television. People they see, oh, see, you see people suffering. Yes, some African in Africa, we do have some people are suffering, and it's not their fault. It's a fault of the Africans' governments. The African leaders, they are better using millions and millions of dollars and go to England or America or France to be treated over there. You see, like African leader using like $10 million or $20 million, $50 million to go to England or France or Americans to get treated. But who's going to bury him? The same poor people, same poor people who are suffering. They're the one they're going to dig the grave for them. Whether it's your military, the poor military who are guarding you day and night, they're the one who's going to dig the grave and put you in there. And the worms, they're going to eat your shit out. The worms is waiting for you. I'm talking to you, African leaders. Leaving, neglecting your people who are suffering with the anger, and you are sitting in the so-called state house, in leather coaches, making those leather coaches stink and warm because you don't wash your ass very good, and neglecting your people suffering. And you see, that's why sometimes I admire the governments of the West. Let me talk about America a little bit. Yes, there's a corruptions in America, big time. But also, they are making sure their people, at least, making their people get what they want. Okay. Yes, you have to work to sustain yourself and your family, to feed your family in America. You have to work hard. But we have some people that don't want to work, or they don't work at all. Some that are disabled, some that are elderly people. So those elderly people and disabled people in America, they're really taken care of very good. I used to work in seniors, the senior homes. Yeah, like I used to be a CNA, a certified nursing assistant. Those people are older. Some are disabled. Some are injured. Their family don't want to taking care of them, so they bring those. They bring their families there, so the government can take care. They can taking care of them. So the government is giving private companies money, and the private company running this kind of facilities, cares homes. Okay. But if we do have this kind of systems in Africa, all over Africa, probably we can actually minimize the problem in Africa, expose the problem of hunger, the problem of health, okay, the problem of sanitation. I mean cleanliness, but also to my people too. We have some tribes in Africa do not want to change, okay, which is good because they don't want stay all day long with your iPad, with the iPhone and Samsung, Android, iPhone, day and night. No, yeah? You don't even see or hear what's going on around you. You are always, on TikTok, Facebook, or whatever. So the technologies, the cell phones, took over our mindset. So we don't blame those tribes that they don't want change. They don't want civilized. I mean, they're already civilized, but they don't want to change. Okay. So they rather stay the way the way they are. No, we have some tribes actually. Actually, I love that. I better stay the way the dirty, the way dusty, dirty I am, than actually live with the slavery mentality, like some of us, because most of us we live in a slavery mentality. No, you have to strive so hard to go to school and get your degree, uh, or find a good job, which is not bad at all. But we live in a slave mentality. Yeah? You have big dreams, go to school, get a degree, get a good job, buy a house, a good car, whatever. All of that is good. But the things going on in your mind, the misery, you have all this stuff, but still you have no peace. You have no peace in your mind. Yeah, you can have that fake smiles showing people, oh, look my house, look my cars, look that. I make this, I make that. 6 figures, whatever you call it. But you have too many problems, either from your family or on your own or whatever. But anyways, go back to Ukrainians' grain stuff. That's the media's, Western media's labeling Africa. If the Ukrainians' grain does not reach Africa, Africans are gonna die. And this narrative is getting spilled, spilled over and over and over again. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna end up there. But yeah, we African, we can survive without anything come from the West. We don't need the West, things from the West, from things from West. Like, let's say people now are fighting in Kenya about the G what? Hmm? GMO, genetic modified. What's that? Uh, Whatever organ. Well, it's a it's a things that you go was man-made scientific uh, seeds or whatever. But I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go to scientific thing because I have my own of talking things like that. I have my own way of talking things like that. But I was going to talk about the Western media keeping saying that Africans are gonna die because they are not receiving the grains from Ukraine or wheat or whatever. You know, Europeans and Americans, they're the one actually eat more breads than Africans. When you go to Europeans, people, you go to European houses, they're eating more breads than African households. Please subscribe, put your comments, and give thumbs up, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.